Lauri to be an all-star.
Jazz fans, how are we doing tonight?
Side Markkanen, tap it up, no, once, twice, 3 times.
Lauri! Everyone, this is Lauri Markkanen.
Markkanen, 3, got it.
Nope. All right, moving on.
It's the Kia NBA Most Improved Player.
You guys good? So you've done this before?
Oh, yeah. Down to 2, Markkanen. Oh, my, poster.
He is just playing unbelievable right now.
The Donald Duck didn't finish. Spotify or Apple Music? Spotify, of course. What are we listening to? What do you mean, of course? Put that down.
See Lauri Markkanen having the game of his career, the game of his life.
Lauri Markkanen.
Take note.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Jazz Forward Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and y'all, Lauri Markkanen is not going anywhere as he signed a 5-year, $238 million contract extension with the Utah Jazz. And y'all, for the Utah Jazz, I really like this because Lauri Markkanen, he's only 27 years old, y'all. And since he's been with the Jazz since 2022, he's made an all-star team. He's really continued to improve his play, y'all. You know, he's a 7-foot guy, a guy that can get you about 23, 24 points per game. He's a really good rebounder. Not the best defender, but he definitely tries defensively. So I get what he did this. Y'all, you look at his numbers through his first 2 years being with the Jazz, and Lauri's giving you 24.5 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, nearly 2 assists, almost a steal a game, shooting 49% from the floor, 39.5% from 3, 88.5% from the free throw line, and he has a 63.6 true shooting percentage. So this makes a ton of assists for Utah Jazz, y'all. Again, Lauri Markkanen, he's only 27 years old. You look at the Jazz roster; they have a really nice young core. This year, y'all, they drafted Cody Williams, Isaiah Collier, and Cal Filipowski. Last year, they drafted Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, and Bryce Sensabaugh, and they still have Colin Sexton on their roster. So they got a ton of young guys that they can build around, and Lauri Markkanen can be like kind of at the forefront of that. Excuse me, y'all. So I really like this deal for them. But y'all, for the Golden State Warriors, I mean, wow, this just continued their miserable offseason that they have had. As y'all know, the Warriors, they were really interested in trading for Paul George. They were not able to do so, and they were really interested, y'all, in trading for Lauri Markkanen. They were not able to do so. But this time was a little bit different because, y'all, with this one, the Warriors, they chose not to make this trade happen. This trade could have gone down, y'all, but the Warriors, they did not want to include Brandon Podziemski, y'all. And you see, ironically enough, Brandon Podziemski in this picture, he's guarding Lauri Markkanen. But, y'all, they were not willing to give him up. They were willing to give up Moses Moody, 7 first-round picks, pick swaps, and second-round picks, y'all. But, again, they were not willing to give up Brandon Podziemski. And, y'all, listen, I think Brandon Podziemski, I think he's going to be a really good player, okay? He had a really solid rookie campaign. I think he's going to have an even better sophomore season. But, y'all, the Warriors have Steph Curry on their roster. Y'all know Steph Curry is still one of the best players in the league, but he's going to be 37 in March. So Steph Curry, he doesn't have much longer to play the game of basketball. You got to surround him with the best possible team to try to go to and win the NBA championship. The Warriors have not done it, y'all. Let me tell you what they've done this offseason. They lost Klay Thompson, which I wasn't mad with that, but I'm just stating facts. They lost Klay Thompson. They signed Buddy Hield, they signed Anthony Melton, and they signed Kyle Anderson. Listen, y'all, Buddy Hield, he's one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA, right? Probably one of the best three-point shooters of this generation. Anthony Melton, he's a good 3-and-D player, y'all. Good 2-guard. And then Kyle Anderson, he's just a solid all-around player. I like Kyle Anderson, you know, for his passing ability and for his defense, his versatility that he provides offensively and defensively. But y'all, Buddy Hield, Anthony Melton, and Kyle Anderson, those guys are not difference makers on championship teams. And the Warriors, they're counting on them. They're counting on them to try to help lead them back to the playoffs. Remember, y'all, last season, the Warriors didn't even go to the playoffs. They didn't even make the playoffs. You have to make this trade for a guy like Lauri Markkanen, who is a very good player. He's not a superstar, but Lauri Markkanen is a very good player in the NBA. He can create his own shot. He's a good rebounder, very great shooter. Y'all, that's what the Warriors do. You look at this Warriors roster, they do not have guys that can create their shots consistently. They don't have size on this team, right? We've seen in the last several years, the Warriors have been one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. because they just don't have the necessary size that you need to compete, y'all. And in the Western Conference, you're going against the Memphis Grizzlies, who now have Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr., the Denver Nuggets, who got Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Nikola Jokic, y'all. The Thunder, who now have Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. That's a lot of size that the Warriors are going against, and they just don't have the adequate size, y'all, to try to go up and combat it against those teams. So I'm really worried about the Golden State Warriors, right? I would have done it, y'all. I would have given up Brandon Podziemski again. I think he's going to be a really good player. But, y'all, by the time Brandon Podziemski is probably fully ready to go, Steph Curry's probably going to be retired, okay? You cannot worry about the future, y'all. If you're the Golden State Warriors, you have to worry about the present, okay? And I know they still have John Kuminga on the roster, Trace Jackson Davis, who they also drafted last year. I really like all those young guys. But if I'm Steph Curry, I'm a little pissed off, y'all. I'm just being honest. If I'm Steph Curry, I'm a little ticked off by this because I'm trying to win my 5th championship. I don't have time to sit here and wait for these young guys to develop, okay? I'm getting ready to be 37 in March. My time is winding down, y'all. That clock is ticking on Steph Curry's career. Okay, believe it or not, it's ticking, y'all. He does not have much longer. And for the Golden State Warriors to refuse to include Brandon Podziemski in this deal, it just feels like, wow, y'all were so close, but you weren't willing to include a young guy? Come on, y'all. I mean, it just doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't understand why they were not willing to do this. You look at Lauri Markkanen. I mean, look at these highlights. You mean tell me that Warriors could have used a guy like this with that size, that skill set, y'all, that versatility, the rebounding ability that I told y'all that Lauri Markkanen brings to the table? The Warriors absolutely could have used that. And I'm not sitting up here and saying the Warriors would have been championship contenders with Lauri Markkanen, because all they would have been. But I would have loved their chances to make the playoffs much more than I do now, because I just don't like this team right now. Y'all don't. Again, I gave you kind of a little bit of a rundown of the roster. I can go even further, y'all. I just don't really like this roster. Right? They still have Kevon Looney, Moses Moody, obviously Gary Payton II. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Obviously, Draymond. But, y'all, this team, they don't have shot creators. They don't have rebounding. Okay, they don't have size. How's this team better from last year? At least last year you had Clay, and Clay can still get you 18 points. You had CP3. You don't even have those guys any longer. Like, y'all, the Warriors are kind of irrelevant. Let's be honest. The Warriors are kind of starting to become irrelevant. The only thing that's keeping them relevant is Steph Curry. But look at the rest of this team. Without Steph Curry, y'all, this would probably be like a 20, 25-win team. I mean, we saw last year, even with Steph Curry, they really struggled, right? Because, y'all, the rest of the Western Conference has gotten so much better than the Golden State Warriors. And this is why they needed to make a trade like this. I mean, we saw the Sacramento Kings. Listen, I don't think the Sacramento Kings are a championship contender, but I love the Sacramento Kings being aggressive and trading for DeMar DeRozan. At least they showed, hey, we're willing to get better. The Golden State Warriors, it's like they're not even trying to get better. Paul George, okay, you missed out on that. It happens sometimes. The Clippers really didn't seem like they even wanted to trade Paul George. I get that one. But Lauri Markkanen, y'all, the Jazz were willing to trade him to the Golden State Warriors. All the Warriors had to do is give up Brandon Podziemski. Really? And you let that stop you from adding a 27-year-old all-star caliber player? It just doesn't make a ton of sense for me, y'all. So for the Utah Jazz, this is great for them. This is a great day for Jazz fans. It really was. Because Lauri Markkanen, I think he has a potential to become a star player one day. He's already a very good player. But for the Golden State Warriors, this just continues, y'all. A horrible offseason. Probably one of the worst offseasons I've seen in recent history. I mean, seriously. I've never seen a team, y'all, that has a player that's still in his prime, although he is aging, but still in his prime, and they didn't make any, like, game-changing moves. The only moves they made was add Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, and Kyle Anderson. And you really think that's going to be enough to compete against the Thunder and the Nuggets and the Grizzlies, now that the Grizzlies are back and healthy, and the Young and the center team and the Rockets? You really think that's going to be enough? It's not. So, y'all, I think this is going to be a very trying year for the Golden State Warriors. And listen, we know Steph Curry's not going anywhere, but boy, oh boy, I would not hate Steph Curry at all, y'all, if he came out and requested a trade. I wouldn't. I would totally understand it. Because he knows I don't have much longer at this. And we just had an opportunity to acquire an all-star caliber player, and we did not want to throw in a young guy. And we don't know how good Brandon Podziemski is going to be. I think he's going to be really good. He might just be an average player, y'all. We never know. With Lauri Markkanen, he is an established player. Like we know, Lauri Markkanen is a very good player. We still don't know what Brandon Podziemski, right? We only seen a year of his game. We seen guys have really good to great rookie seasons, and then after that, y'all, they struggle the rest of their career. Again, I'm not saying Brandon Podziemski is going to do that. I think he's going to be a really good player. But we just don't know for certainty yet. With Lauri Markkanen, we know what you're getting, right? About 24 points, 8 rebounds, really great shooter, good rebounder, versatility on both ends of the floor. And the Warriors definitely could use that. But instead, y'all, they allowed him to re-sign with the Utah Jazz. And now the Golden State Warriors, they starting to become a franchise, y'all, that is irrelevant. So there y'all have it, man. There was another episode of the Zay Moonlight Sports Podcast. Remember, y'all, laugh is good message, so make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm an end, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.